Morning all. So we're going to go through the do now answers. Now with this first do now, since it's the first one back since Christmas, I am going to go through all the answers so that you can use this to help with further ones. Okay, and then after today's lesson, any do nows in further lessons, I will be asking you to send a picture and show me what you've done, just so that I can see how we're keeping up with certain topics and if we need any extra lessons on any topics that we might have forgot. So for this one, you don't need to send anything in, just listen through the answers. I'd advise writing them down and having this as an example sheet somewhere. Okay, it doesn't have to be printed. If you can't print it, that's fine. Just write your answers on a piece of paper, make them as nice and clear as possible. So if we start with factorising, now remember factorising means putting back into brackets. If there's only two terms, you are looking at a single bracket. So all we're looking for is the biggest number I can divide 8 and 12 by is 4. There's not a letter in both, so that is everything that goes outside the brackets. And then we say, what do I multiply 4 by to make 8a? Well, that would be 2a. What do I multiply 4 by to make 12? That would be 3. Next one, again, you've only got two terms, a little bit more complicated, but still only two terms. This time, if I look at this, 12 and 15, the biggest number I can divide both by is 3. There's not an a in both, but there is at least one b in both, so I can put a b outside. So we say, what do we multiply 3b by to get 12b squared? Well, to turn the 3 into a 12, I need to multiply by 4. To get the b to become b squared, I need another b. Because remember, a squared term is a term multiplied by itself. So b times b gave us b squared. And then what do we multiply 3b by to get 15ab? Well, to get from 3 to 15, I multiply by 5. I've already got the b, I just need an a. So it's 5a, and it was a nice positive one, so it's plus in the middle. Last one, if you've got three terms, remember this is one that is going to factorise into two brackets. So you are always looking for two numbers that multiply to make the end value, but add to make the middle value. Okay, both brackets are going to start with an x. Everything's nice and positive, so I know they're pluses. So two numbers that multiply to give 8. I've got 1 times 8 or 2 times 4. The pair that also adds up to give 6 is 2 and 4, so it's plus 2 and plus 4. Okay, expanding brackets. So expanding a single bracket is just to multiply everything inside by the number on the outside. So 8 times 3a is 24a. 8 times 5 is 40. On the next one, 5p times 3k. Well, 5 times 3 is 15. And when we multiply letters together, you just write them one after the other. It doesn't actually matter on the order. We tend to go alphabetically just because you're used to saying the alphabet. That sort of makes more sense. And then 5p times minus 4pq. Well, a positive number times a negative makes a negative. 5 times 4 is going to give me 20. I've got p times by another p, so that's going to make p squared. And then I've also got the q. Okay, so a lot trickier, but you are more than capable of doing it. Okay, just take it a step at a time. Next one, same idea again. So 3ab times 4a squared. Well, 3 times 4 gives me 12. If I times a by a squared, that means I've now got 3 a's altogether. So it's a cubed and then the b. Plus, and then 3ab times 7b. Well, 3 times 7 is going to give me 21. The a is not going to change, but because I've got a b there and a b there, it's going to become b squared. Right, simplifying indices. So remember, when you multiply, the rule is that you add the powers. So I get a to the power of 9. If you're multiplying that's got numbers in front, you just multiply the numbers as normal. So 4 times 7 is 28. A to the power of, and we add the powers. 3 add 2 is 5. So numbers in front multiplied as normal, powers are added. Right, when we divide, we subtract the powers. So 9 subtract 3 is 6. And then on the last one, multiply as normal. 14 times 2 is 28. A to the power of, and it's a multiplication, so we're adding. 6 add 3 is 9. Right, on to, if we do the bottom right hand corner first, so expanding double brackets. Remember, these are the ones where you can use foil or a grid. If you've used foil, that's fine. Just check your answers as you go along. If you're still not sure on a method, I'm going to go through grid and we'll stick with grid. Okay, so drawing out a grid, First bracket goes along the top, that's x and a positive 5. Second bracket goes down the side, x and a positive 7. So x times x gives me x squared, x times 5 gives me 5x, x times 7 is 7x, and 7 times 5 is 35. That means the x squared term will stay as it is. These two both have an x in them, so 5x plus another 7x is going to give me 12x, and then the plus 35 will stay exactly as it is. Okay, same again. First bracket along the top, 2x and positive 3, x and positive 4. So this time, 2x times x is 2x squared. X times 3 is 3x. 2x times 4 is 8x. 4 times 3 is 12. So this time the 2x squared term will stay as it is. Sorry about the noise again. Diagonally, I've got 3x add 8x, so that's going to give us 11x, and then I've got plus 12 at the end. You should always end up with 3 terms when you expand a double bracket. Okay, there's only a very rare case where you don't end up with 3 terms. We'll deal with that possibly in year 9. Okay, so standard form questions. Right, remember, multiplying in standard form. Numbers in front get multiplied as normal. 3 times 4 is 12. 10 to the power of 5 times 10 to the power of 2. Now, just like we've done with indices a second ago, the 10s stay the same, so it's times 10. The powers you add, so 5 add 2 is 7. But remember what we've said before, for this to be correct standard form, this first number has to be between 1 and 10. So if I make this 1.2, because I've made that 1 decimal place smaller, we balance it out by making the power of 10 1 bigger, so we get times 10 to the power of 8. Next one, 8 divided by 2 is 4, times 10 to the power of, and when you divide, you subtract the powers, so 7 take away 2 is 5. That one's already in standard form since this number's between 1 and 10. Right, adding and subtracting just take a little bit more work. It's better and easier if you can just turn them into normal numbers first. So we've got 3 and a 1. We've got 4 jumps, 1, 2, 3, 4. So there's 3 zeros on this one. You've got 4 and a 3, again with 4 jumps, 1, 2, 3, 4. And we're going to add them together, 0, 0, 0, 4, and 7. I end up with 7.4 times 10 to the power of 1, 2, 3, 4. So you can see, as long as the powers of 10 are the same, you can literally add the numbers in front. But that will not work with this one. Okay, you can't just add the numbers because the powers of 10 are different. So we're going to do what we did there. 8 and the 3, you've got 3 jumps, 1, 2, 3, so there's 2 zeros. This one is 2 and a 1, you've got 1, 2 jumps. Make sure your last digit is lined up, and we're going to add them again. 0, 1, 5, and 8. So my answer is 8.51. Remember, keep writing all the digits until you get to the last non-zero. Times 10 to the power of, and you've got 1, 2, 3, so it's a power of 3. Just be very careful to line your numbers up neatly. That was the only place that people were going wrong last time. They'd got the expanding the numbers out, you just didn't quite line them up neat enough, and you ended up adding up the wrong numbers, and that's where you got a mistake in your answer. Okay? Right, guys, any problems, any questions about any of these, or you'd particularly like an extra lesson on a certain one of these topics, feel free to message me on Show My Homework and I'll put some stuff together.